any other housekeeping before we jump in?
No.
Okay. Any housekeeping this morning?
No, Your Honor.
All right, well, off we go then. So, all right, if you all will please look up at the monitor. Here we go. And we're going to go through this. So let's make an announcement first just to make sure. There's a lot of court going on. This is the Spalding County State Court. My name is Josh Thacker. I'm your judge, and this is the ticket. This is the final calendar call for my ticket trials. So if that does not sound correct to you, there's 3 floors of court. There's about to be 4 floors of court going on. And so if that doesn't sound correct to you, you need to step out in the hallway and let us get you to the right courtroom. So that's my first announcement. I want to start out by saying here in the Spalding County State Court, we believe that each of you, as you interact with this court, deserve the respect and the dignity that you wish for someone you care about. We will extend that to each and every one of you as we interact with you all here today. Hey, please don't talk during court. Our goal is to return you to your lives promptly. I will have zero patience with anyone who disrupts the orderly operations of this court. And frankly, it keeps you from getting back to your lives in an efficient manner. All right, I have one person virtual, and it is Miss Price on the bottom of page 3. We'll circle back to her. I don't have any memory of what we're at on that. Okay. Cell phones. Everybody right now, take out your phones from wherever you've stashed them and absolutely make certain that they're off. We're about to start moving fast, doing a lot of things. I can't do that if you're having your sidebar conversations. And frankly, it keeps all the rest of us here longer. So lots of movement out there. Thank you very much, everybody who's turning your phones off. All right, so let's do this one more time. This is the correct courtroom for you. If you were issued a citation here in Spalding County, you appeared or waived your arraignment date, you requested a trial, you appeared last week for your calendar call and again requested a trial. If what I'm saying does not sound correct, again, you may speak with the bailiff out in the hallway. They can help you out. This is what's called your final calendar call. I'm going to go over your rights with you one more time. And your options, and then you or your attorney is going to give me final confirmation of which way to move your case. Each of you have already selected a trial, but remember there are 2 types of trials. There's a jury trial, and that's where 6 jurors issue a verdict on your case, and we have 2 sets of jurors coming in today ready to try 2 cases. We have a bench trial, and that's where I issue the verdict with no jury present. This is at the final calendar call. Your choices are going to be that you may have a conference with the solicitor's office. Now, that's only if they are willing. They are under zero obligation to have another conference with you, and they have every right to say no thanks. You can enter what's called a non-negotiated plea. That's not a term we've ever discussed before. We also call that a blind plea, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. You may ask me about an attorney, and we can have that discussion. A non-negotiated plea, just to circle back to that, is where you are unsatisfied with the recommendation that the solicitor's office is making on your case to resolve it, but you don't want to go to trial and you're stuck in the middle. If that is you, then you can choose to enter a non-negotiated plea. Again, we call that a blind plea, and that's where you enter the plea, you admit guilt, and then I decide the sentence with no recommendation or agreement. My decision is final, and whatever decision I make, it is the sentence of the court. If you requested a jury trial, which several of you did, and you're here today thinking you don't really need a jury trial, you'd be happy with a bench trial, then that is you. Then you may have that option today, and you can simply announce bench trial when your name is called. I will have you sign the bench trial form, and we'll move you over into that pile. I have no preference. I'm just giving you that option, but you may not change from a bench trial to a jury trial today. Your charges here in this courtroom are misdemeanors. The average misdemeanor carries a maximum punishment of 12 months to serve in the Spalding County Jail and or a $1,000 fine. A few minor traffic charges like seatbelt have a lower maximum fine, and a few high and aggravated misdemeanors have up to a $5,000 maximum fine. Now, each of you here have the right to a speedy and public jury trial, where 6 citizens of Spalding County decide guilt or innocence on each of your charges. Again, you can choose a bench trial. That's where I make the decision with no jury present. You may waive your right to a trial and close your case with a plea if you so choose. I have no preference. You must knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently choose for yourself. Now, you have the right to be presumed innocent. You have the right to force the state to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, to cross-examine the state's witnesses, to subpoena your own witnesses and evidence to court. You have the right to testify or not testify, to not incriminate yourself, and if you remain silent, your silence cannot be held against you. You still have the right to an attorney. You may still hire your own attorney if you so choose. However, if you did not ask last week to apply with the Public Defender's Office, then you have very likely finally waived that. If you want to have that discussion today, you can. An attorney would, though, help you understand our criminal justice system, explain what your charges are and what the defenses are to those charges, file motions on your behalf, engage in plea negotiations, subpoena witnesses and evidence for your defense, conduct a trial on your behalf, make objections, protect your record, and appeal conviction, and otherwise work to protect you. All right. It is my responsibility to explain first offender and conditional discharge to y'all. Now, first offender and conditional discharge each allow you to enter a guilty plea without being convicted, but you only get one of each for your entire life. First offender is for everything except traffic-related charges, and conditional discharge is for drug-related charges only. All right, nolo contendere and traffic charges. We call this a nolo plea for short. It's where you enter a guilty plea without admitting guilt, and it is available on most traffic charges, no DUIs. You get one nolo every 5 years, and that's measured from the incident date to the incident date, ticket date to ticket date. A nolo will usually prevent points. It'll usually save your license. It won't help you much if you're under 21. All right, if you're here today and you are not a U.S. citizen, you need to know that any conviction will very likely have a negative impact on your immigration status. All right, habeas corpus. It's my job to explain this weird old law called habeas corpus. We call it a habeas for short, and here's how it works. If you're convicted of these charges, you may sue Spalding County civilly over in Superior Court to challenge your conviction. What I need you to understand more than anything else is when those rights expire, which is that all traffic charges have a 6-month window before those rights expire, and everything else in this courtroom has 12 months before your habeas rights expire. Like I said, weird old law, but that's what we got. All right, you may ask for a conference with the solicitor's office. Again, they are under no obligation to meet with you. The solicitor's office represents the state of Georgia. They are not your attorney. If you reach an agreement, you can resolve your case today. If you do not reach an agreement, then you must stay here in the courtroom, and I will give you further instructions as to what happens next. I just want to remind all of you that we have what's called our 30 for 30 program. This is for defendants who do not have the fine amount to pay it, but also don't want to go on probation, and so they're looking for another option. If that is you, then what you can choose to do is have a conference. If you reach an agreement with the solicitor's office, they can recommend you enter the program, where I accept your guilty plea, and then I delay the start of your probation by 30 days. In return, you pay $30 for participating in the program, hence 30 for 30. If you are successful, then your case will close with no probation. If you're unsuccessful, then your probation begins automatically 31 days out. It'll still likely be terminated upon completion. Now, if you're here today and you receive probation, you'll be supervised by the Spalding County Sentence Enforcement. There'll be a one-time $25 intake fee per case. 100% of all fine amounts can be worked off with community service work at $10 per hour. Additionally, there is a $50 per month supervision fee each month until you complete your probation. Now, this supervision fee is mandatory, but it can be waived after a separate hearing before me. All right, so our procedure for this week is as follows. All the bench trials and jury trials are together on this calendar. 2 weeks ago was your calendar call, and that was week 1. We skipped a week, and then this is week 2 with your jury trials and bench trials. All the defendants are required to appear for all the dates because I want them to watch the other trials. We'll run 2 courtrooms next week, and we will reach your case for trial. All right. Do you want to help your friends and family? Because you're going to hear some names that have already had warrants issued, and there may be some new ones issued today. If you know somebody who's absent, call them, tell them to get down here, and you will save them a great deal of future trouble. All right, pretrial motions, speedy trial demands, whatnot. So you all were required to let me know if you had any speedy trial demands or anything else that I needed to factor into your case. If you did not notify me of that, you very likely waived it. All pretrial matters must be heard on the first calendar, or they are waived unless they're preserved on the record by the court. All right, I'm about to call the calendar. When you hear your name called, stand up. If you have an attorney, remain silent and let your attorney announce for you. If you do not have an attorney, then you're going to announce one of the following. Is anybody here under 21? Let's just do a quick show of hands. Anyone here under 21? Okay, you need to tell us that when you hear your name called, okay? All right, so here we go. Everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
Nobody's in jail, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Jalen Benton.
That was already warrant, Judge.
Okay.
From the 9th.
All right, I do not have a marked calendar, so y'all be patient with me. All right, Robert Colquitt. Thank you.
We'll be ready to go this morning.
Thank you. 2 cases, Reginald Dewberry.
Judge, that's a bench warrant from the 9th.
Okay, so he has not been to court yet.
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Dewberry, come on up. Let's talk just a little bit. I need to pull up something on my system.
It's 2 cases.
Okay. Mr. Dewberry, I was not here for a calendar call. The state is telling me that you did not appear for your calendar call. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I was sick.
Okay, you're sick.
Yes, sir.
Did you come in last week at all or anything?
No, the lady told me to come today.
Okay.
She said I made it today.
All right. Well, I still am going to. The lady, what lady?
The lady I called from the I guess.
Okay.
Down at the bottom.
All right, that's fine. All right, Mr. Dewberry, it is a warrant. It's still active.
She said.
Do y'all have warrants?
She said
Do
ain't
y'all
no
have
warrant.
witnesses?
No, sir.
They said as long as I come, she said ain't no warrant.
Okay. Well, there is a warrant. I'll tell you what, let's do this. You ready?
Okay.
Don't panic, but Piper's about to put handcuffs on you. They're going to put you in the jury box.
Oh, I need to call to the
You need to listen to what I'm saying.
But say they
Hey,
said-
if you're about to argue it into worse. I need you to
crazy,
listen.
bro. It's
I need you to listen to what I'm trying to say to you. I need you to listen to what I'm trying to say to you. Everyone with a warrant gets handcuffs in the jury box. You're not going to jail. Just go sit over there and let me sort this out.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes,
Do
sir.
not argue with me, or I will send you to jail and I'll reset your case till you can calm down and we can have an adult conversation.
All right.
Go sit down, please. Go sit down. It's going to be okay. I'm going to put him down for a conference.
Okay.
Troy Dietz,
That should be paid. Let's keep with case.
paid? Excellent. Mark it off. All right, I'm marking that one off my calendar. All right, Dolores Douglas. Jury trial? Okay,
That's one of ours this afternoon.
okay, that sounds great. We'll figure it out in a little bit. I showed Duncan, it was Jody Sellers and Reset. Mr. Fakara is one that I reset after calendar call. He is out of town, and he will be in Georgia in June. So his cases are first up if he's on. So, Janae Gamble. All right.
That's one for this morning. We'll be ready to go.
Okay. So Judge Esri, that'll be one of yours. All right. John Heinrich.
Yes, sir. Trial.
What kind of trial? Jury trial or bench
Yes,
trial?
sir. Jury trial, please. Yes, sir. Jury trial.
We'll be ready this afternoon.
Okay.
That's our other jury trial.
All right. Kristen Hendricks.
That was already a warrant, Judge, from the 9th.
Okay. And there's no response. I have that Katrina Hicks went into the pretrial diversion program. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. You're working off a different calendar than we are.
Oh.
Yes, that was a pre-trial from the 10th.
Well, hold on just a second. They say their calendar's different than ours. Oh, are you working off the final calendar?
Yes,
And your final calendar is different than my final?
evidently.
Interesting.
And there's some tickets over here too that aren't on this calendar that were benchmarked. Not a lot, just two.
And they're all on, the ones you've called are all on the trial calendars.
All right,
It's
we
just
should
not the
have
short
there.
calendar I'm working off of. That's why you're kind of seeing us scrambling around.
Yeah, I'm catching that. That's okay. And I'm only pausing just to make certain that we all on the same page. Because again, I wasn't here for counter call, so I'm completely blind. And I appreciate the great job everybody did while I was out. Let's call for record. On record, and I'm going to put on record that this is not any sort of issue with our standard operating procedure. This is a known issue with our justice, our database. It's already an escalated ticket. I actually got an email on it this morning. They found a fix for a little bitty piece of it that would not have helped us this morning, but it did help Chastity's problem. So just saying out loud, this has nothing to do with us. We're just going to. The Chastity's issue was that our stuff that's not printing is also not showing on the public facing website. And we figured out a fix for that, a temporary fix now while they work on a permanent fix. All right, well, let's just move nice and slow through here. That brings us to Katrina Hicks as a pretrial. Is that correct? That I can close that case on my calendar?
That's correct.
I have Ira Johnson as also a pretrial, and I can close that case.
That's correct.
All right, and if you have a case I'm missing, let me know. I have that Michael Jones entered our accountability court,
Yes, sir.
and he's set to plea on 5/16.
Yes, sir. Well, he has entered his plea.
Oh, he's already entered it.
We went ahead and did the plea into accountability court.
Okay.
We've given him a deadline of May 16th to be actively participating in the program or be sentenced that day.
Oh, that sounds great. Okay.
And that was all explained to him on the record, and Mr. Malloy did as well.
That's a great solution. All right, so I'm marking Mr. Jones off my list. Kelly? And how do you say your first name? Kiaka. All right, names are important. All right, thank you. Is that one y'all are ready for this morning?
Sir?
Is that one y'all are ready for this morning?
Yes, we'll speak with him.
Okay. All right, Semja Palacios? Palacios? No?
So,
Oh, that's y'all? You're good.
Negotiated plea.
So, all right, I'm gonna put y'all down for a conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
if you'll write that, we'll get you taken care of.
All right, Ms. Price, I sent you an unmute request. If you'll approve that, please. He's my only virtual. Ms. Price,
Yes.
what's a good phone number for us to reach you?
706-333-8293.
All right.
I didn't write that down.
It's 706-333-8293. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Price, I'm going to mute you. You sit tight. I'm going to come back to you, okay?
Okay.
So, Judge, that's a
I have no
that's a warrant from the 9th.
Okay. Then I'm going to let you have a conference with her, and you can explain all that to her. I'm going to let her remove herself from the system so she can take the call. Ms. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Price, you may remove yourself from the system, but don't go anywhere or do anything. Wait for the solicitor's office to call you. They're going to explain the situation, figure out what's going on with your case, and have a conference with you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. You may remove yourself from the system, but sit there and wait for your phone to ring. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. We'll figure it out.
Yes.
All right, the next one I have on my calendar at the bottom of page 3 is Carl Roberts. Good morning.
Bench.
All right, thank you. You ready on that one?
Yes, we'll stick with it.
Okay. Cameron Sampler, bench drum.
I can resolve this one if you let me sound real quick.
Sure.
Is Alexis Ward in the courtroom? Alexis Ward, this is the state versus Cameron Sampler. Judge, Miss Ward is the named victim in this case. We have been in contact with Miss Ward. She has indicated that she does not intend to testify against Mr. Sampler. She has signed an affidavit to that effect, and since she has not responded to sounding this morning, just assume that it's still her intention is not to testify against Mr. Sampler. So without her presence and testimony, we'll be unable to proceed with the prosecution of this case.
All right, Mr. Sampler, go have a seat out in the hallway out there and wait for the bailiffs. They'll come explain what's going on with your case to you.
You got that? Yeah, just do it all possible.
I already did it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I took care of it. Y'all have nothing to do. I've already signed it and everything. Okay, Crystal Sharp? Sharp? No?
No response?
Was that already a warrant?
No, so she appeared on the 10th and asked for a bench trial.
All right, well, you may release your witnesses.
Yes, we'll ask for a bond forfeiture and bench trial.
Granted. Jermel Stanley? Oh, that's you. I think it's already a warrant. Is that? He's here? All right, I'm gonna put you down for a conference, Mr. Malloy.
And that was a warrant from,
Oh, it's already a warrant?
yes.
Mr. Stanley, come on up. Mr. Stanley, did you come to your calendar call on these two cases?
No, sir. No, sir. I didn't know it was one. I did call the courthouse and she gave me this date, and I only had the 22nd on my calendar.
Okay. Did you miss it or were you not notified of it?
I was not notified, and I didn't receive any mail.
All right, well, let me check my records.
Okay.
If that proves to be true, then this is gonna be easy to sort out for you.
All right.
However, if you did, get notice. Okay, I'm gonna push up something to the wall here for you to see, so if you'll look up there. Is that your name there? Jarmel Leon Stanley?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Stanley, is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Are those your initials?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you were ordered to be here on April 9th, 2024 at 9 a.m. And then your jury trial week was the week of April 22nd. I'll also note that since you and I had a conversation this morning before court off record, that you came in, I believe you were wanting to wear a hat in the courtroom. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I said no.
Right.
And you wanted to discuss it, and so we didn't discuss it. I just want to put on record that did happen. All right, Mr. Stanley, I also show that you've had multiple bench warrants on these cases.
Holy smoly.
So I'm showing, yeah, you can, Mr. Deputy Piper's going to put handcuffs on you here, but don't panic. We're just going to figure out what's going on.
Right.
But I show multiple warrants.
Because I know I was just in court here.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. You have an attorney here, Mr. Malloy. So go have a seat in the jury box. Mr.
All right.
Malloy will talk to the solicitor's office and see what the options are. They're going to go get your stuff out of the bag. All right, I'm gonna put him down for a conference with Mr. Malloy. All right, Cedric Weems.
Judge, if I can sound on this one too. This is the state versus Cedric Weems, 23 SR 1688. Is Gregory Lewis present in the courtroom? Gregory Lewis. Judge, Mr. Lewis is the named victim in this battery case. We have attempted to reach Mr. Lewis numerous times since my office received this case by mail, telephone, running his information through our people search, locate current addresses, telephone numbers. We've been unable to reach him. Based on the incident report, it looks as if Mr. Lewis may be homeless, which probably goes a lot to explain why we're unable to contact Mr. Lewis. Without his presence and testimony, we'll be unable to proceed with the prosecution of this case.
All right, Mr. Weems, if you will step out into the hallway, wait for the bailiffs out there. They'll come explain what's gonna happen next on your case, okay? All right, I've already signed it. We're done. Michael White. Michael White. That's Mr. Malloy's, but there's no response. I assume that was already in warrant status?
No, so he actually did appear. I'd already told Mr. Malloy that case was going to be dismissed.
Okay, that's fine.
So we'll honor that.
All right, so a couple of announcements to sweep everybody else up. Are there any witnesses who are subpoenaed to be here? Any witnesses for the state? There's a couple of 2, 3, 4 hands up.
Yes.
So y'all will get an announcement in just a minute from Mr. Shepherd to give you all directions as to what's next for y'all. Are there any defendants whose name was not called? Anybody? If so, stand up for me. All right, nice and loud. What's your name?
She's here for an accountability court plea.
Okay, great. All right, you're good. I'll take care of you in just a little bit, okay? All right, so that's favors. Anybody else? Okay. So, all right, is there anybody else who's not had their matter addressed this morning? All right, Mr. Shepherd, do you want to make any announcements? Or you want me to?
Just real quick, let's see. 'Cause I don't think there's any. All right, who was my witnesses? I know y'all, are y'all here on the Gamble rat case? Okay, if y'all hold tight, Miss Tony, who's the other solicitor, we'll get y'all in just a moment, and y'all are gonna go downstairs and have that bench trial student in this case. So y'all just hold.
All right, so Judge Essery's good to go downstairs?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Judge Essery, if you'll head down to courtroom B down there, that'll be your shop down there for the bench trials this morning. I'm gonna stay up here while they have their conferences, and we'll figure out what else is left for us to try this afternoon. A jury down there is awkward, but it's doable. We figured it out, and when I get free, I'll walk down and kind of show you what we were thinking, and get your take on it so that it's done the way you want it done. So.
Where's Mr. Kelly?
He hates this.
Miss Kelly, can you step over here with me?
Okay. Okay, let's start with y'all. What do you have and what
I
do you
have
need?
Mr. Stanley, Your Honor. I think if he's up there, that's me.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take y'all, 'cause that's the last thing you have, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so although I don't normally take the warrant cases first, I'll do that. Mr. Stanley, you can come on up to the podium. We'll get your lawyers out of here.
Yep.
All right, give me just a quick second. Ms. Price, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Price, can you see the self-represented defendant plea rights waiver I've just put on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put you back on mute and I'm going to do another plea or two, and I just need you to take your time and read through that. You should recognize it as the written version of those rights I read out earlier.
Okay.
All right, I'll come back to you in just a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, I just wanted her to be doing that while we were doing our plea. All right, Mr. Stanley, if you will please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, take your hand down. State your full name for me.
Jarmel Stanley.
All right, and Mr. Stanley, you're here on two cases, 22 SR 1555 and 23 SR 0155. Mr. Stanley, you are here represented by the Public Defender's Office, and although there was a warrant, you were taken into custody, you were on time for court today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom, and did you see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
I did.
Did you understand those rights?
I did.
You're here with your attorney, and your attorney has passed up to me this attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Did your attorney review this document with you fully?
He did.
And are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1,
They are.
page 2,
They are.
and is this your signature?
Confirmed.
And did you sign and initial this document after having all the time you needed to review this document with your attorney?
I did.
And did you sign it because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes.
Now, I understand that you may have some trouble with dysgraphia and dyslexia. Did that in any way keep you from understanding what's going on here?
No, he broke it down for me very good.
Yes, well, you have very good lawyers.
Yes.
So I'm the luckiest judge in Georgia. I say that all the time, and my public defender's office are the best in Georgia. So, okay, then, Mr. Stanley, have you had all the time you need to speak with Mr. Malloy about your case?
Yes, I have.
Are you satisfied with the job he's done on your behalf?
Yes, I'm satisfied.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial on each of your two cases? You can have a jury trial if you want it.
Oh, yes. Yes, I know I can.
And by entering these pleas, there will be no trials, and these cases will both be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, all right. So, Mr. Stanley, do you have any other questions for me about anything before I pivot to your attorney?
No, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Malloy, both of these are going to be best interest pleas. I'm going to go ahead and initial those right now for
Yes,
you.
Your Honor.
I see that. And there we go. And then as far as, let's start with 22 SR 1555. Do you stipulate that there's a factual basis to support the theft of lost or mislaid property charge from 22822 here in Spalding County?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you want to enter a guilty plea to that charge of theft or of lost or mislaid property, Mr. Stanley?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, moving over to 23 SR 0155. Sorry, Mr. Charles. Mr. Malloy, do you stipulate that there's a factual basis? Do what? You're
said I'm taller.
That's exactly right. So, do you stipulate to the factual basis on the shoplifting charge from 10/1/21 here in Spalding County?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Stanley, do you wish to enter a guilty plea to the shoplifting charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to find between Mr. Malloy's stipulations as the factual basis combined with Mr. Stanley's request to enter the guilty pleas that there's enough for me to take both of these pleas. I'm going to find that Mr. Stanley is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving his rights and entering these pleas. I've reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it. Floor is yours if you want it.
Your Honor, just in my discussion with Mr. Stanley, he did make me aware that he has, what was it, schizophrenia?
Yes.
Schizophrenia bio, but he is taking his meds, so he was cognizant of everything that we went over. We had a good, long conversation. I made sure he was oriented and where he was and what was going on. So I'm confident that he is aware of what's going on today, and he understands the course proceedings so that we can proceed forward.
Okay. And you take mental health medications?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just going to put a note. That way the sentence enforcement team is aware of that. And that'll help them help you. That's all.
Right.
Well, noticing that he wrote backwards too, Judge, I mean, you already mentioned his dyslexia.
Yes. And that's the thing is I just want to make certain that they know that we are here to support you in any way that we can.
I appreciate that.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions? Anything else?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yes.
Oh, I
Yes.
need a sentence. That's all.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, that's
Yes.
okay. So, all right. So, Jarmel Stanley on 22 SR 1555. All of these are best interest, please. Count one, theft of mislaid, lost or mislaid property. I'm going to find you guilty. It's 12 months probation. $590 is your fine. On both cases, do you drive?
I do, but I don't have my own vehicle, sir.
But you have a license.
Yes, sir, I do.
Show that license to sentence enforcement. No illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This is to be consecutive with any state court sentence. $50 in restitution to Spalding County to offset the cost of your attorney. $48.50 in restitution to Anna Bartley. You'll make that payment of $48.15 to the clerk's office within 180 days of today. Once you've made that payment, you'll take the receipt showing $48.15 to sentence enforcement, and that'll show that you've satisfied that obligation. 20 hours of community service work. And please continue to take your mental health medications.
Right.
All right. On to 23 SR 0155, also a best interest plea. Count one, shoplifting, guilty, 12 months, $590 is your fine. Same standard obligations. This is consecutive to 22 SR 1555. $50, an additional $50 in restitution. This case can close the moment you've satisfied your obligations to the court. And you also must take your mental health medications. All right, so as far as the total sentence is 24 months, but it can terminate after 12 if you've done everything you're supposed to do, okay?
Right.
I also need to notify you that because of the shoplifting charge and you're represented by counsel, if you catch any future shoplifting charges, this case can be used against you to increase punishment if you do get convicted of any future shopliftings. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Muller, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Stanley, anything else?
Yes, I had a question. With the church that I go to, I play the guitar a little bit. I think I'm a little good. And we do like little trips out of state. So how does that work with probation?
You just communicate. So it's
Okay.
like any relationship. If you communicate with them and let them know when you're going to be here and gone, as long as you're in compliance and you're doing what you're supposed to do, they will work with you.
Okay.
The only time they'll pull you in close is when you're out of compliance. So
Right.
I think you're going to be just fine.
Okay.
That's a
you.
good question. Any other questions?
No, that is it.
All right, thank you. Miss Margaret's going to walk you out those double doors.
That's our business. Everything's.
Great to see y'all. So thank you very much. Okay. Let's see, the next item on the list is Kelly, and that is a null pros. And then Michael White is also a no pros. Almost signed it right now. Thank you. All right, so that was Michael White, and then Kelly. Are y'all here? Kianca Kelly? Okay. All right, what do you have?
Two citations, Your Honor.
There it is. Okay, come on up. All right, so he's going to do a no low on, is he going to plead guilty on the expired driver's license? And then a no low on the failure, or is it two no lows? The pause in what you're reading from me is that I'm not entirely certain. The expired driver's license is not reported to the Department of Driver Services. Let me
Correct.
start there. So it doesn't really matter if you burn a no low on something that's not going to be reported. So, okay, well, I'm going to mark that as a guilty plea. All right, and your
I didn't
client,
request it because of that reason, Your Honor. Yeah.
no, I'm with you on the same. It wasn't marked either way.
Oh,
So
thank
that-
you.
The pause you heard from me was that it was blank, and I
There
was
was
trying to.
another form we filled out where we marked it.
We're good to go. So, okay. All right. So, all right. I'm going to have y'all swap and let him use the mic. There we go. Do you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. Take your hand down. State your full name.
Semha Palacios.
All right. And Mr. Palacios, it's my understanding that English is your second language. Is that correct?
I speak it clear though.
Oh, I know. It's my job to put this on record. It's okay.
Okay.
So, but English is your second language, correct? And what is your first language?
Spanish.
Spanish. And do you understand that if you wanted an interpreter, I would provide one to you at no cost to you?
Yes, sir.
And that we have an interpreter here every other month. And that if you wanted one, we'd move you over to that. No cost. You could come in and have a Spanish interpreter help you with this plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And understanding all that, do you want to go forward with your plea today as we are?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to find that we're good and we're going to keep going. But it's my job to say that out loud. All right, and
You can tell him.
Tell 'em what.
His English is better than his Spanish.
Ah.
I'm bilingual.
no, there you go. Well, and the good news is that our new probation officer, Ms. Rosario, is amazing, and she is also bilingual. So you and her will be able to communicate just fine, no matter which way you move between them. So,
Your Honor, I understand that if he pays his fines today.
hey, that's right. You're moving in the wrong
I didn't want to
direction.
make him nervous.
Sorry, I just am so proud of the new Spanish
Yes,
speaking
it's
team that
fantastic. It is.
I just tell everybody about them. So
No, it's great. It's great.
because we have a Spanish speaking public defender now, a sentence enforcement, and obviously our longtime interpreter, Ms. Ada. And so we, like I said, I'm like somebody that just came back from the Holy Land. I won't
No,
stop
I'm-
talking about it.
I'm very
So-
excited for those things to be occurring. I go to many counties that do not provide.
We
that
worked for
service.
years knowing that we weren't doing what we wanted to do, and we all talked about what was the solution. And we're so proud of ourselves, we don't know what to do.
No,
So-
I'm very glad to hear it.
So
Your
wonderful.
Honor.
All right, so, well, let's jump back into the plea then, and we'll just call that on the record an off-record discussion. So, okay, here we go. Back on record, Mr. Palacios, have you used a NOLO on any moving violation in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
Are you 21 years of age or older?
No, sir.
How old are you?
20. 20
When do
years
you
old.
turn 21?
December 13th.
I'm sorry?
December 13th.
Okay. So what it doesn't get him is the points on his license. So if this is an immigration choice for the NOLO, then that doesn't matter. The under 21 matters because he'll still get 3 points on his driver's history. You tell me what you want me to do.
Can I conference with her, see if
Sure.
we can do a basic rules violation?
Yes, Mr. Shepherd is downstairs in the first floor courtroom. If you want to go step down with the paperwork and talk to him, that would be fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, all right, have a seat, Mr. Palacios. All right, the next one I have is Roberts, right below it, 2 down. That's also an Alpros. You go, Robert. Gamble. All right, if you will please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you'll take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Janae Gamble.
All right, and Ms. Gamble, you are here today on 23 TK 4902, and you're here today, there we go. You're set up for your bench trial, and, yep, Ms. Margaret's trying to get you to the microphone there. I'm not seeing it. Have you filled out the right sheet? Does this document, the self-represented defendant plea rights waiver, have you seen
No,
one of
sir.
those? Okay, have a seat right there at the table. I'm gonna have you fill out one more piece of paper. And then as soon as you're ready, I think these do not appear to have been reviewed by the bailiffs. They normally go through these. I think these got thrown up here. Yeah, I'm just gonna give you the stack because they're all out of sorts. Let's just go off record, Ken. Ms. Price, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, so this is a virtual plea, so that, and my court reporter, Ms. Kathy, will create a transcript of this. Miss Price, I can see you up on the screen and I can hear you great. Can you see and hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Price, it's my understanding that you wish to resolve your case today with a plea. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Price, you are charged here on 23 TK 2054 and you are virtual. Is it okay with you that we're entering this plea over this video conference system?
Yes.
You were on time for court today, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom and did you see the entire PowerPoint up on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
The self-represented defendant plea rights waiver has now been up on your screen for several minutes. Is that correct? Yes?
Yes, sir.
And have you had all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand everything that's on it?
Yes.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
Okay. Let's hit a few of the highlights. Do you understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Yes, sir.
And you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
And is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
And by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you, Ms. Price, do you understand, or do you have any questions that I can answer for you about anything on the self-represented defendant plea rights waiver?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Price, did you, here in Spalding County, operate your motor vehicle back on May 4th of 23 at a speed of 78 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to find with your admission of guilt that there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I'll follow it as it's been negotiated. Do you have any questions for me about anything before a sentence?
Who do I pay the fine to?
To sentence enforcement, and so we'll come back to it in a minute, but when we get finished with this, if you go to spaldingcounty.com and go to the sentence enforcement page, you will find all the information you need about how to interact with them, including their address, telephone number, all that kind of thing, online payments, it's all there.
Okay.
That's a good question, and that's the answer to that question. Okay, anything else?
No, sir.
All right, you ready for me to sentence?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Amaya Price on 23 TK 2054 from May 4th of 2023, speeding 78 and a 55, which is a reduced speed. I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months probation. 735 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days. And if you pay $30 plus your fine in full to the Sentence Enforcement Office, your case will close with no probation conditions. 31 days from now, if you're unsuccessful in closing your case, your probation begins automatically, at which point you may, if you wish, work off your fine with community service work. You will be required to show your valid license to sentence enforcement, have no illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products, and be tested for such. $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. This would be consecutive to any current sentence, and the case would still close upon completion of all of your terms and conditions. I'm going to put on here that you are going to. All right, so here's how this normally works. So the 30 by 30, during this time, you're not actually going to be reporting to sentence enforcement because your probation hasn't technically started yet. But because you're virtual and you're not here, there's an orientation that's normally done here at the courthouse before you leave the building. So what I am going to do is I'm going to order that you report, that your first report date will be to the probation office in person. And I'm going to have you go there this Friday. And that'll be the only time you need to check in. After that, you'll have all the instructions you need. Let's see, today's the 26th of April. okay?
Okay.
And they'll give you your instructions, and like I said, your sentence doesn't technically start for 30 days. All right, you have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Do you have any questions for me about anything before you and I part ways?
No.
Okay. All right, so don't forget that you need to, oh no, they want you to call. My bad. I said in person on Friday. I'm moving that over to phone. Do you understand? Do not go there on Friday. Call Friday morning between 9 and noon. 9 and noon.
What's their number?
So their phone number is, again, on the Spalding County website, but it is 770-467-4206.
Wait, 770-467.
4206, 4206.
Okay.
And again, if you go to spaldingcounty.com, go to the sentence enforcement page, you'll find all the information you need on the case.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any questions for me about anything before you and I part ways?
No, sir.
All right. Well, then, Ms. Price, good luck to you, and I hope you're able to get your case closed.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That's virtual. Oh, great. They're back. Hey, y'all coming up. All right, now I'll take Ms. Gamble's after that. So, all right, let's go back on record with Palacios. Okay, this works then. You don't need to do a NOLA then. Do you want us to do a guilty and be done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Great.
Do I leave the meeting now?
Hey, I never said that, did I? Yes, Ms. Price, I am so sorry. What I was supposed to say is have a good day and you may remove yourself from the video conference system. I'm very confident that's not on the record because I never said it. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. have the right to have an attorney represent you?
Judge, she was at trial.
Yes, she's entered a plea.
She was found guilty at that trial.
Oh, well, what's she doing in my pile then?
I'm not sure. That's why I was interrupting. you.
Okay, this is what I was saying to the bailiffs earlier, that when I got here, I couldn't quite make heads or tails of what was on the bench. So, and I was wondering what I was missing.
Yeah, she had a trial with Judge Esprey this morning.
Okay. Then I don't know why I have it, but if somebody will please walk her back to sentence enforcement.
I don't know if we put it up there, Judge.
It's okay. Like I said, today has been a crazy morning. Well, that means I don't need this. So, all right, you can walk out there. Thank you. I'm sorry for the trouble, and I'm sorry for the fact that your time was wasted. Anybody else here?
It was just the two that were at trial. Yeah, somebody asked me about that this morning, and I said, just send them back to sentencing court.
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, let's go off record. All right, Ms. Hendrick, I'm so sorry, John Hendrick.
Yes, sir.
All right, come on up. Please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
John Stephen Heinrich.
All right, you can push that microphone so that it fits you better, like twist it, there we go. There we go.
That's
All right. You were here on time for court today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom?
Yes, sir,
or
I
Did you
did.
see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir, I do.
You've passed up to me this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines
they
on
are.
page 1,
Yes, sir.
page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time you needed to review it
Yes, I do.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
You understand you have the right to a jury trial.
Yes, sir.
And by entering this plea, there will be no trial and your case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to an attorney?
Yes, sir.
And by entering this plea, you're doing so by representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Heinrich, you are charged that here we are, on September 5th of 2023. Oh, you want to do NOLO. Are you 21 years of age or older?
Yes, sir.
Have you used a NOLO in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
And are you asking me to accept your NOLO for driving that occurred here in Spalding County and results in this charge of speeding 74 and a 45 on 23 TK 4843? I'm going to grant your NOLO. It's 12 months probation, $750 is your fine. I'm going to delay the start of your probation by 30 days to allow you to participate in our 30 by 30 program, which means if you pay your fine in full plus $30 in the next 30 days, i.e. 30 for 30, then your case will close with no probation conditions. After that point, your probation begins automatically, at which point you may, if you wish, work off your fine with community service work, but you will be required to show your valid license to sentence enforcement, to have no illegal drugs, alcohol, or hemp products. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 intake fee. It would be consecutive to any current sentence, and your case would still close the moment you satisfied your obligations. Again, this section is only if you make it that far.
I understand.
Okay. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Are there any questions that I can answer for you about anything before you and I part ways?
One question, sir. So the 30 days, the second half, what you read, that would start 31 days after.
You
correct?
understand it perfectly.
Fantastic.
That's a great question. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
I found those questions often answer questions that people have in the crowd that they haven't had a chance to ask yet. So, all right,
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Heinrich, thank you very much. If you'll
Thank
step
you.
out into the
Have a
hallway.
good day.
Thank you. Favors? All right, Ms. Favors, this is our accountability court plea on your case. Please raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Lakira Favors.
All right, Ms. Favors. So what we're about to do is we're about to enter a plea, and then when we get to the end of it, what's going to happen is I'm going to be no, Mr. Shepherd, I might need you to help me on Ms. Favors.
So Judge, Ms. Favors has already entered accountability court. She had 2 other cases, 3 total. She's already pled to the other 2, and those sentences are suspended pending her completing accountability court.
Okay.
This is the 3rd one that Ms. Favors had pending. It was a city court transfer. We just didn't have the case actually in at the time of her plea. So we asked Ms. Favors to come in today to enter the plea to this 3rd case. All 3 will be suspended pending her completion of accountability court.
So I'm not actually going to be sentencing her on
No,
this.
she's just going to enter the plea, and it will be held suspended along with her other 2 cases.
I thought your name was familiar, so I've already done the first 2 cases.
Yes.
Because your face was very familiar to me, and I thought it was just because you were in our accountability court program.
Yes, sir.
So
She
Kathy,
is, she's doing well. We just had to get this was just a little loose end we needed to get tied up, and today was just good editing.
all right, Kathy, does that make sense that there'll be, you may have already done the transcript. I don't know.
Will I be doing anything on this one?
Yes, so this transcript will go with that one as
Yes,
well.
sir, and if you'll just put like, I just need the case number.
24 SR 0426.
0426.
That's correct.
Thank you very much. That's
And it looks like the original case, or one of the 2 original cases, was 24 SR 0406.
And I'm not sure the 3rd case number. That was just sequentially, this was the next one on that.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. All right, so Ms. Favors, what Mr. Shepherd said made sense to me. Did that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's jump right in. So Ms. Favors, we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to enter this plea, but I'm not going to sentence you, and then I'm going to set it aside while you go and complete our accountability court program, which I've already been told you are doing very well in. So it's good news. All right, Ms. Favors, you were on time for court today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear the rights I read out to the courtroom and see the PowerPoint that I put up on the wall?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
And obviously, this is our second round of doing this. So what we're doing right now is identical to what we did the first time, reviewing your rights, making sure you understand them. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm holding up this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver, which there's another copy of in your previous case, but we're going to put one in this one as well. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir, I do.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2,
Yes, sir.
is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time you needed to review it
Yes, sir, I did.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Favors, do you understand that you have the right to have an attorney represent you
Yes, sir, I do.
and you're here representing yourself?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial
Yes, sir, I do.
and that by entering this plea, there will be no trial and this case will be closed? Is that
Yes,
what
sir.
you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right, now, did you, here in Spalding County, back on September 9th of 2023, operate your motor vehicle while your license to operate such motor vehicle had been suspended by the Georgia Department of Driver Services?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to find that you're, with your admission of guilt, that there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering this plea. I've reviewed the recommendation, and if it comes to it, I will sentence you exactly according to these terms that you've negotiated. But instead, what I'm going to do is, as this is an accountability court plea, I'm going to stop the plea at this point, and I'm going to ask you, do you waive the right to withdraw this plea?
Yes, sir.
And are you waiving that right unless and until you successfully complete our accountability court program?
Yes, sir. I do.
Perfect. Well, I look forward to letting you withdraw this plea, and I look forward to seeing it dismissed with your name on it.
Yes, sir.
That is a wonderful day that I enjoy very, very much.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, then what I'm going to do is you're already in the program, so I don't need to redirect you, and you do not need to go meet with sentence enforcement. So what we'll do is she needs to sign. So Margaret, the only thing left is she needs to sign right there. And that's it. And then you can give her the pink copy and then she's free to go. When's your next check-in or whatnot with accountability court?
The 25th.
Okay. So Miss Margaret's going to give you a pink copy of the sentence I did not just give you. So, but that way you have a copy of it.
Yes,
And
sir.
then that document will be attached to your contract. And that we'll file a copy of that with it as well. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, we were,
It was,
Nurse Jackie's on.
Jackie's down there, Alex is down there. Good news is I don't think we need it for years.
No, I told him, my understanding was we were gonna have the one jury trial this afternoon, Ms. Douglas's jury trial this afternoon.
Yes, that's correct. All right, well then I just want to make sure.
I'm really concerned about him driving.
You'll press that.
Okay.
Yes.
Sharp. Come on up to the podium. All right, Ms. Sharp, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Crystal Danielle Sharp.
Ms. Sharp, you are here on 23 SR 1024. You were late to court this morning, and so I'm going to jump forward to this self-represented defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials next to each of the lines on page 1?
Yes, sir.
Page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time you needed to review it
Yes, sir.
and because you understood everything that's on it?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Sharp, you have the right to have an attorney represent you, and you are here representing yourself. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to a jury trial, and by entering this plea, there will be no trial, and this case will be closed. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Now, Ms. Sharp, you are charged with one count of giving false name to law enforcement and a false date of birth. So let's start with the truth. What is your actual correct name, first, middle, last, and spell each?
Crystal Danielle Sharp, KRYSTAL DANIELLE SHARP.
And what is your correct date of birth?
May 27th, 2000.
Okay. All right. So your charge is that you did give a false name and that you gave a name when you interacted with law enforcement back on June 6th, 2021 here in Spalding County with a name other than that name that you've just given. Did you do that?
Yes, sir.
And you also gave them well, that charge has been dismissed. Okay. All right. I'm going to find with your admission of guilt that there's enough for me to take your plea. I'm going to find that you're knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving your rights in entering this plea. I reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it. Do you have any questions for me about anything before I sentence?
No, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Sharp. On 23 SR 1024 from 6/6/21, count one, false name, guilty. That's I'm gonna find you guilty. It's 12 months probation. 590 is your fine. Count two is dismissed. Show your valid license to sentence enforcement. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those.